Now, most people have heard the term trust and it's somewhat nebulous, so I'll just explain it a few different ways. The first way to explain it is it's your rules. You set it up and you get to say what happens. But what's more than that is it's an ability to organize your assets now while you're healthy and alive and capable, and let them stay organized well on into the future. While you're alive, you typically accumulate all these different assets that seem very well organized to you. But then when something happens and you're no longer there, those assets don't seem so organized to anybody else. It doesn't make sense as to why you had this bank account over here in California when to you went to college in California. It made sense to have that bank account. And so it can create a lot of issues. But what the trust can allow you to do, if we compare it to something you're a little bit more familiar with, kind of like a wagon. During your life, if you were to purchase a wagon, you can put your stuff into the wagon. So if we create a trust, we can put your assets into the trust. And while you're alive, who pulls the wagon? You do. It's your trust. This is not a trust where there's some professional trustee involved. We're talking about you being the trustee, and you get to be able to control these assets. And also, while you're alive, who gets to play with the stuff in the wagon? Who gets to use the trust assets? You do. It's your stuff, and so you stay in complete control. But if you become incapacitated, you say who steps in immediately. We don't have to go through a court proceeding or anything along those lines. And so the person that you name, that you trust, will step in and continue to use those assets for you during your life. And then when you pass away, they'll have the ability to administer those assets as you say. Another way to think about a trust is to compare it to a will. So what is a will? A will is a document that you have drawn up during your life that says what happens to your assets after you pass away. Now, I will caveat for a second and say some of you may have what's called a testamentary trust inside your will. And what that is a trust. But because it's located inside your will, it can't be activated until we go through the probate process. And so it has a lot of the same benefits of a living trust, except for it still has to be probated. So a living trust is better than the will because we activate it while you're alive. And so when you pass away, we don't have to worry about activating it later. And so since we activate it while you're alive, it says what happens while you're alive. You stay in control, you're able to spend the assets, the principal or the income, and you can amend or revoke it at any time. So you're still in control. The idea with the living trust is it doesn't change your day-to-day life either. You still have the same property taxes that you pay, so you still qualify for the same homestead exemption. You still file the same income tax return each year, and you don't pay any additional taxes, and so there's no change from your day-to-day life.
To learn more about estate planning, wills, trusts, and probate, watch our full workshop online. By watching, new clients will receive a free, no-obligation consultation with a Rhodes Law Firm attorney.